I'm going to summarise 7 years of professional cycling experience in 7 minutes. I was lucky enough to ride the Giro d'Italia, Vuelta a España, Worlds, and even won a national championship. Definitely wasn't the best in some of those races, but I hung in there and I've learned some pretty brutal lessons, which I'm going to condense into this video in 7 minutes. Start the timer. There are no shortcuts. There's no substitute to putting in the hard miles. It takes time, hard work, and perseverance to make progress. So you can't underestimate that, and don't waste time trying to think otherwise. At the end of it all, the best thing that is going to make you better at riding your bike is riding your bike a lot. And I mean a lot. Of course, you need to be smart with your approach. Use tried and trusted methods to help yourself improve in line with the science, but at the same time, you need to put in the hours. You can't do it on your own. This one applies to everyone. Sometimes it can be so hard to take a step back and see what you need to do to improve. So getting the help of bike fit experts, nutritionists, physios, you name it, expert advice is so beneficial, and if you're able to get it, go out and get it. You can go far on your own, you can go way further with the help of others. There are a lot of people giving bad advice, and maybe only a few people who give really good advice. I think the key is to know who you want to trust and who you want to take advice from. And also remember that at the end of it all, you're the one who's riding the bike, and you're the one who kind of needs to be in charge and make the decision about whether you should trust a certain opinion or go with it. And I think the most important overriding thing that you could possibly remember is that if it isn't broken, don't fix it, because sometimes it seems like every man and his dog wants to tell you what to do. And I think you need to be strong enough to be able to be confident to do what you think is best and stick to it. There are a million hurdles. The one who goes furthest jumps the most. Cycling is full of setbacks. There's one around every corner, be it a crash, an injury, or just getting pure bad luck. It happens all the time, and it happens to everyone. I think what you need to remember is that when you do experience these setbacks, you kind of just need to pick yourself up and carry on, but it can still be so disheartening. But just remember, the one who goes the furthest is the one who's been over the most hurdles and is still going. Keep that in mind. Pride comes before a fall. For me, this one is huge. It doesn't matter how confident you are in your bike handling or how well you think you can throw your bike around. It's normally the times when you think you're really confident that it all comes crashing down. So understand the risks and know what will happen if things go wrong. Because trust me, that ground's pretty hard. And I think you don't need to be scared or to be too fearful when you're out riding your bike. But I think you need to know that if you do mess things up, you make an error, what those risks are and how much they will hurt. Because that helps keep you focused, stops you making the mistake in the first place, I think. It's about who can rest the hardest and eat the best. Recovery and fueling are perhaps the most important parts of your riding. Get these two things wrong and everything else will fall apart. In fact, you probably need to make these two things the cornerstone of everything you do, because then all the rest will follow nicely. So fuel up, rest more than you think, thank me later. It's not all about the bike, but it does make a difference. Yes, one piece of tech is better than another, and one bike setup is going to be a bit faster too, and there is such a thing as free speed, in the effort sense, unfortunately, not in terms of cost, because normally free speed is actually kind of expensive. But what I'm trying to say is it's the rider on top of the bike which is the most important thing. Even if your bike is potentially a little slower than what other people have, it doesn't mean that you're going to not be as fast as them. Probably going to be a bit faster. Tactics, training, skill all play bigger roles, in my opinion, than tech. So don't be disheartened if you want a slightly slower bike than other people. If you're struggling, other people are too. Normally, the times which you are finding the hardest are actually the times where you can make the biggest difference against anyone you're riding with. So most of the time, when you're really, really suffering, can pay off the most to dig even deeper. It's the same in a one-day race or a classics, That is really when you're just taking lumps out of each other. And really the person who wins is the person who's prepared to dig the deepest. It's quite hard to remind yourself of that in the moment because it hurts a lot. You really want to win a bike race, you have to dig pretty deep. Your body sometimes just doesn't fancy it. No matter what you do or how well you prepare for a specific goal, sometimes your body just won't have it. It's a mysterious thing, the human body, and most of the time when I've really kind of put all my focus and all my eggs into one basket and gone for one thing, it is quite common that things just don't work out. Your body just doesn't have it. And then the times when I haven't really been planning to be at my best, your form just kind of mysteriously comes together and you're kind of at your peak. And I think the key is to try and figure out when these moments might happen, learn how to listen to your body, and if you can do that, then you can really figure out when you're on top, when you can push on and potentially get the best results or performance of your life, or when it's best to rest up, take it easy. Call a taxi home. You can always give more than you think. Always have this in the back of your mind, because when things get tough, your mind starts playing tricks on you and you start to think that you cannot go any harder than you're currently going, but you can always give a bit more than you possibly imagined. And I remember actually in the Vuelta, there was this one stage, it was pouring with rain, I was having a really hard time at the back, struggling to hold the wheel. And I kind of just got angry with myself for letting myself be in a bit of a downward spiral in my head. And I think the fact that I got angry made me follow one attack, which actually ended up being the early breakaway. And I found myself in the move and suddenly everything changed. And what I'm trying to say is basically, it doesn't matter who you are, you can dig deeper than you think you can. Things rarely go to plan. It doesn't matter how meticulous you are with your preparation or how much effort you put into preparing for a certain goal, sometimes things just don't work out. I've lost count of the amount of times where I was sick before a big race that I was targeting, or maybe picked up a little injury niggle that hampered my preparation. And that is kind of the case no matter who you are or what you do, it just happens. And I think the best lesson you can learn is to be able to refocus, change your goals, and pick yourself up when things go wrong and get moving again, because that is how you make the best of any situation. And stop the timer. There you go, a few lessons learned from a whirlwind of racing bikes. Let me know in the comments what lessons you might have learned from your own cycling journey. Always love to hear from you all, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Good luck out there, everyone. Thanks for watching.